Feud this morning at 8 on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the city of Humboldt went back in time yesterday, and we'll hear what treasures of the past were revealed.
Plus, Chiefs fans did not waste any time buying up championship gear after Sunday's win. We'll see how one business handled the oncoming fans.
And we've got ourselves a cold but otherwise not bad start to the day. It's going to be much warmer today and a bit breezier. We'll take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. And boy, it is a week for a lot of folks in the 4 states because we had the Super Bowl Sunday, we had the snow on Monday, we've got Fat Tuesday today, we've got Valentine's Day and the Chiefs Parade tomorrow.
Just keeps coming.
Boy, I don't know how we're gonna need the next couple of days to recover because it's a busy week here.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a big deal in Humboldt last night.
Right, that's right. Humboldt, Kansas took a peek back in time to unveil something unseen for 100 years. A century ago, the people of Humboldt, Kansas placed a cornerstone on what was then the new Humboldt High School.
Last night, that time capsule was open. KOAM's Elise Noe was there to see what was inside.
That's the sound of a century-old seal being broken. 100 years ago, the people of Humboldt, Kansas hid a piece of history for their future residents.
Last year, found that an newspaper article, one of our board members brought it in and said that there was a newspaper article that said that 100 years ago, when the original part of the high school was built, that a time capsule had been placed around the cornerstone. And
the community was able to find the box thanks to a construction project for the school.
Sure enough, there was an opening on the bottom of it, and tucked up in that cornerstone was this time capsule.
Found inside the copper box sealed with melted lead was what was once a baseball.
I thought it was in pretty good shape.
A coin, a stamp, and a newspaper were also found, and folded inside that newspaper was documentation from July 11th, 1923, the day the time capsule was created.
Just having hundreds of years of history here through family, and now being back at my alma mater and being able to see the stuff that they buried 100 years ago and get us thinking about what we want to put forth in the next 100 years.
The community of Humboldt will now replace this time capsule with a new one and decide what items best reflect their town today.
We were just able to put a bunch of stuff on a cell phone, then put the cell phone in a charger, and then just hope that in 100 years they have a way to charge the phone up, and then they could see pictures, documents, videos.
And while those in the future may be puzzled by our perhaps archaic smartphones, folks from 100 years ago may have never guessed that the items they put in the box would be photographed on cell phones and live streamed across the internet.
Again, 100 years ago, they would have thought that this was going to be opened in front of people who weren't even here, and were watching this on a screen somewhere. I think they would be shocked by that.
In Humboldt, Kansas, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
To read more about the items found in the time capsule, visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com.
I've been up to Humboldt a few times over the last several years that I've been here. It is a cozy little community, a lot more that happens up there than what you may realize.
Really?
So if you ever have an opportunity, they have a thing called the Water Wars. You got to check that out.
Okay.
It is a lot of fun. I covered one a couple of years ago, and it's a lot of fun up there. A lot of great places to eat, a lot of great things to do that you just don't realize are happening.
Check it out then. Thanks,
Absolutely. Chris. And today may be a good time to go up and check out Humboldt or any other cozy community here in the 4 states, as it's going to be a relatively decent day, albeit breezy. Let's take a quick look outside. It's our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. We got a great sunrise out there, clear skies across the area, albeit a bit on the cold side. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking good as well as folks get their Tuesday underway out there. And this morning with the colder temperatures, You do want to give yourself a couple extra seconds to scrape off your windshield. That's the good news. At least when I scraped mine off, it looked worse than what it was. You know how that can be. That frost looks really bad, and then you go on there, it comes right off. That should be the frost for you today. Again, temperatures around the area a bit on the cold side, but about normal too. Mid-upper 20s for most of us with some low 30s mixed in, and mid-20s are about where we are supposed to be for this time of year. As we go through today, sunny skies, much warmer. Any remaining snow, most of it should be gone by this afternoon. Mid-upper 50s for highs. And we'll have that southwest breeze occasionally gusting upwards of, say, about 20-25 miles an hour. We are going to warm up even more tomorrow, then we got some changes on the way. We'll look at all that in the complete forecast a little later. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, Parsons, Kansas police arrest a suspected car thief. Police got a call on February 10th about a possible stolen vehicle. Authorities say 26-year-old Peter Olson Jr. of Coffeyville stole a vehicle from his ex-girlfriend after a domestic situation. Officers quickly found the vehicle at a home, which they were told had 2 firearms inside. They then set up a perimeter before entering the home, finding Olson and arresting him without incident. For the first time since 2005, there's a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. Kansas City Chiefs fans in the 4 states wasted no time. Immediately after the Chiefs' overtime win over the 49ers Sunday night, some fans immediately began buying up Super Bowl memorabilia. Academy Sports in Joplin stayed open late into the night to accommodate Chiefs fans. As you might imagine, they're excited, although some weren't quite sure KC would get the win.
Well, I wasn't exactly sure. When they didn't score first, it was a little iffy, so.
Oh my God, I couldn't stop screaming. I was freaking out. And then I had friends in Pennsylvania text me, "We heard you screaming."
The Chiefs become the first back-to-back Super Bowl champions since 2005. And is there such thing as too many books? People shopping at the Webb City Public Library's annual book sale didn't seem to think so. The sale started yesterday at the library and offers the public an opportunity to buy used books the library no longer needs. That includes everything from adult bestsellers to children's picture books.
The nice thing about it is it gets the community members out, and they also support the library because whatever we bring in goes right back into the general collection.
Money raised through the book sale will be used to buy new books for the library. The sale goes through February 24th. To see what times the sale will be open, visit our website at koamnewsnow.com. And some drivers in Jasper County, Missouri might want to take a detour in the coming days. Starting today at 7 a.m. until 3:30 in the afternoon, Missouri road crews will cut back brush along Route D between Maverick Road and Grand Street north of Joplin. Route D will be closed where crews are working. MoDOT expects the brush clearing to finish by March 1st. As they search for a motive, authorities are revealing more details in the shooting at Joel Osteen's Texas megachurch. During the melee, the suspected shooter's son was shot in the head and is in critical condition. Christian Benavides reports.
Authorities say a 7-year-old boy who was shot at a Texas megachurch was the shooter's son.
She gets out of her white vehicle. She opens the door, pulls out the 7-year-old child out of the back seat, as well as a bag that is with her.
Police say 36-year-old Genesee Moreno was the assailant, and her son was caught in the crossfire and shot in the head.
Shooting her leg with 2 people down. We need an ambulance.
A 57-year-old man who was shot in the leg has been released from the hospital. Authorities say Moreno had a history of mental illness.
She confronts a security guard who lets her in along the west side of the building. She immediately starts firing inside of the hallway.
Moreno was killed after pointing the weapon at security officers who returned fire.
They were repetitive, boom, boom, boom.
Celebrity pastor Joel Osteen expressed thanks the shooting didn't happen during larger morning services at his church.
We thank God for that He's watching over all of us, and as the chief says, we're going to keep going strong and bringing hope to the world.
A person familiar with the investigation confirms to CBS News that a sticker with the word Palestine was on the rifle used in the attack. Authorities also found anti-Semitic writings.
Authorities recovered 2 guns at the scene, including the AR-15 the shooter allegedly used in the attack. They say Moreno had at least 6 prior arrests, including unlawful carrying of a weapon, which she pleaded guilty to. Officials say the rifle used in the shooting was legally purchased in December. And coming up, Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society is with us to talk about Kansas Bill 2542. And later, a cancer survivor receives a gift from her favorite artist. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Hi, expenses. If you've been injured, call Aaron Sachs and Associates. It really does cost you nothing to see if we can help.
The SEK Humane Society does not only provide services to help you with your next pet, but also assists state legislators in providing feedback on laws for the care of animals. Today, many humane societies will be present in Topeka to testify on House Bill 2542. Jasmine Kyle of the SEK Humane Society is with us this morning to tell us what this bill is and how it will affect you. Welcome, Jasmine.
Hi, good morning.
All right, this is fascinating, and you're literally, thank you for coming here, because I know you're heading straight to the Capitol after this for this bill. Tell us, what is this bill about?
Yeah, so it's House Bill 2542 today, and it is focusing on some much needed required updates to the Kansas Pet Animal Act for animal pet licensees. So one of those items within the bill today that we're a big fan of and that we're pushing is some wording within this bill. One of those being that it now is a requirement for all cats and dogs to have continuous access to water. That got missed somehow in the last one. And that key word is being continuous. So this is going to affect shelters, animal rescues, breeders. But right now, especially during the winter time, if you were to go put out a pail of water and it freezes within 30 minutes, and that dog doesn't have water, that's technically passable, and that's not okay by our standards. No. That dog, or that cat for that matter, does not have the power, especially in those confines, to go find those resources for themselves. So continuous meaning that that water has to be changed so they have that resource for them. The same in the summertime. Kansas gets insane levels of heat, and that water, especially in metal pails that's commonly used, can be scalding. So that needs to be continuously changed throughout the day so they have access to that resource.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. What are some of the other?
Yeah, so the other part is closing in some loopholes, again, in some wording that some people are using to their advantage, sadly. So one of those is it's now going to be a requirement to add in adequate veterinary care from animals, the key word being required. So we're really cracking down on some wording today. And also a large part of this bill is getting some much needed training for the investigators and inspectors that are going on the scene to these locations.
Yeah, because I was going to say, how do you enforce such things? So there are people that come in and check.
Yep, by the state, they will get calls, they will do check-ins with all of these locations, and that's why this wording is so important, not only for shelters to abide by, but for those rare cases where somebody is not up to code, it leads to that inspector being able what he needs to do to protect those Kansas dogs and cats.
Are you getting any kind of pushback from this? I mean, who wouldn't want those for the animals?
Yeah, usually it's interesting on who will provide pushback. We're going to see who that is today up at the Capitol. We hope it's not. Hopefully we're in the majority today.
Yes.
I know that some owners, it changes hard, right? We know in some locations, that life gets busy, especially for that continuous access to water, with providing it. But thankfully, as Kansas pet owners and Kansas pet shelters, most of us are up to compliance, where a lot of us are already doing this. So it's for these rare cases, sadly, where we're dealing with animal cruelty, and we can crack down on those who are sadly doing this to dogs and cats.
Well, thank you for what you're doing. And yes, definitely keep us posted, and we wish you the best of luck today.
Will do.
All right, we'll stick around because we've got more news coming up right after this.
Time to change your luck. Indigo Sky Casino is the place to be.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Taking a look here. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Beautiful start to the day. It's cold out there, but we've got clear skies, and it's not going to be a bad day at all, albeit a bit breezy. But on camera 20th and Range Line, looking back to the north, looking pretty good as folks get their day started. We're going to talk about the winds. Now today, we're going to see those occasional gusts out of the southwest, upwards of 20-25 miles an hour, and that'll be our trend for this evening and into the first part of our Wednesday, and then late Wednesday, we're going to start to see those winds picking up. And by overnight, we're going to see wind gusts 40, potentially 45 miles an hour as we go Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. And the good news, at least, is by Thursday afternoon, we're going to get a little bit of a break from those winds out there. Our camera 7th in the range line, looking back towards the sunrise, and there's the sun. There's a beautiful start to the day, and there's still some snow out there, but most of, if not all of that snow will be gone by this afternoon. 31 feels like 25 in Joplin, south breeze at 6. Temperatures for the most part about where they're supposed to be for this time of year. So we're actually colder this morning than we were yesterday when it was snowing. We've got mid-upper 20s, and we're starting to see a few more lower 30s out there, and we're supposed to be in the mid-20s for this time of year. So, you know, like I said, it's cold, but it's where we're supposed to be. Sunny skies, breezy, upper 40s by late morning ahead of highs today in the mid to upper 50s out there. Sunny skies, an absolutely beautiful March day across the 4 states. Certainly not like February at all, as we're about 10 degrees above normal out there. We're going to be well above normal again tonight. Still cold into the 30s, but not bad. Mostly clear skies, and again, those occasional wind gusts upwards of about 20, 25 miles an hour. Again, as we fall into the upper 30s. The warm weather continues into our Valentine's Day. Low 60s out there, and as we mentioned, breezy again, mostly clear skies. Then Thursday and Friday, we do have some rain chances. Now, at this point, they look to be very isolated, so I think most of us will be dry Thursday and Friday. We'll just be dealing with mostly cloudy skies, and it's a pinch cooler, but still above normal into the low 50s out there. Much cooler Saturday. In fact, technically on Saturday, we are below normal as we fall in the low 40s. Still cool on Sunday, low 50s. Breezy on Monday into the 60s, and the winds will pick up next week. And they do two things. One, they usher in more clouds. They usher in well above average temperatures in the low 70s, and then they'll bring us some additional rain chances as we head into next Thursday. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Space. Come shop with us at Miss Daisy's Home and Decor and give your home the makeover it deserves.
Well, cancer survivor received a generous gift at a concert that she was attending.
Tracy Cornett shares the overwhelming shock and emotion that came from her favorite artist.
Forget Drake. Forget anybody else in this building right now.
He's talking to me? I was just honestly completely shocked that it was me out of the entire arena that he was talking to.
That was Lauren's reaction when she noticed Drake stopped his show at Bridgestone Arena to recognize her fight with cancer. He shocked the crowd when he offered her a special gift.
We're going to give you $100,000 from me.
I was like, what is going on right now? What is this world?
Lauren was diagnosed with cancer last year, and after 6 rounds of treatment, she decided to get out and see Drake perform. She held a sign proudly over her head, saying she just finished chemo.
That's a true soldier right there.
The fact that I got recognized for all the trials that I've gone through is just insane.
Drake's gift enables Lauren to have complete coverage of medical bills, as well as the ability to pursue what she loves most.
Music is my favorite, so like not being able to afford going to concerts was like something, and just like being able to put money aside for my daughter.
Lauren plans to continue to fight so she can show up for her family, including her 2-year-old daughter.
Just missing out on life like with my daughter and just being able to fully be present with her has been really, really hard.
And now she has a message for Drake.
Your music is what honestly has gotten me through a lot, and I appreciate you more than words.
Incredible. What a great thing to do.
It's certainly an incredible gift that will help her in more ways than he could probably ever imagine.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, Carthage students have been hard at work on creating Valentine's Day floral arrangements.
Yeah, and that's tomorrow, by the way, in case you did not know that. So you better make sure you're ready. And make sure you're ready for a warm day today, and even warmer day tomorrow. We will take a look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
And free shipping. As improbable as it seems, the fantastic 4-day sale at Denver Mattress ends soon.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:28. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. The Pittsburgh Community School District last night announced its newest superintendent. J.B. Elliott will take over the position on July 1st. Elliott has been the superintendent of the Perry-Lecompton School District in Perry, Kansas for the past 7 years. He has a total of 29 years in education, 21 of which was in administrative roles. And the Kansas City Chiefs are back home and ready to celebrate with their fans. Head coach Andy Reid stepped off the chartered jet with the Lombardi Trophy in hand. The Kansas City Sports Commission will spend roughly $1 million for this week's Super Bowl parade and celebration. For the third time in 5 years, Kansas City is now preparing for a Super Bowl parade. This year, it'll be on Valentine's Day, this Wednesday, starting at 11 a.m., followed by a victory rally at Union Station around 12:45 p.m. A lot of schools in the Kansas City area have canceled classes for the occasion. And if you don't make it there in person, you have another option. You can watch it from your home or office. We'll be live streaming the parade and celebration on our YouTube page. You can scan this QR code to go straight there or just search KOAM News Now on YouTube. If you plan to be there in person, you should know that the route is mostly the same as the last two parades, but slightly different. It'll start at 6th Street in the Kansas City River Market and end at Pershing Road in front of Union Station. However, this time the parade won't pass through the River Market. You'll find more information on the parade route and parking and transportation options as our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And many people in our area found snow on the ground yesterday morning, but many others didn't. This is video from Joplin where the city saw substantial flakes falling. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, not so much.
A sort of like a circle around Pittsburgh where there were heavy amounts of participation around this. But she says it seemed like we were in that funnel. So the weather phenomena that came through was very favorable for the Pittsburgh, Crawford County area.
The sun and higher temperatures have cleared snow off much of the roadways today. And KDOT is accepting applications for the spring 2024 round of the agency's cost share program. That program provides financial assistance for construction projects to improve safety and help both rural and urban areas of the state to improve the transportation system. Nearly $140 million has been given to Kansas communities since the cost share program began in 2019. You can visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com for application information.
And we've got ourselves a colder start to the day out there, but it will be much warmer out there as well. Our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. Clear skies out there as the sun rises, and most of the snow melted off yesterday, but there's still some left out there. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking back to the north, looking pretty good as folks get their day underway. And with the colder temperatures this morning, we do have a little bit of a scrape alert. Shouldn't be too much out there, but do be prepared to scrape some extra frost off as you get your day underway. As that says, temperatures are, again, they're about where they're supposed to be, which we haven't been there for a while. Mid-upper 20s across the area, mid-20s are where we should be. And we've even got, of course, some low 30s across the area as well. As we go through today, we'll have winds out of the southwest, occasionally gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Otherwise, sunny skies and beautiful temperatures as we go mid-upper 50s across the area. We have some changes in the forecast, including some rain and even some cooler temperatures. We'll look at all that here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Carthage floriculture students have been busy all week creating Valentine's Day floral arrangements. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
The perfect Valentine's bouquet can be hard to find. And let's be honest, most of us just grab what's on the shelf. But arrangements made by Carthage floriculture students have an extra special touch.
When they get flowers, it makes them feel good and I think, like I said, when people see that it's made by, a Carthage FFA member, it makes them appreciate it more.
Allie Wagner is a sophomore with a knack for making that perfect bouquet.
I'm a lot of a perfectionist. I have everything has to be perfect. I spent an hour doing a dozen the other day because I couldn't get the roses and the filler to look right. So I'm very much of a perfectionist.
Her abilities stem from her teacher, Cindy Noblet, who loves watching her students blossom over time.
It makes teaching fun. You absolutely have to love what you do, being a teacher especially, because if you don't love what you're doing, the kids aren't going to love it. So I try to be really excited about everything I do. And in my class, I think almost all my kids, probably all of them, do enjoy everything we do. Even if they're not the world's best designer, they still have a fun time.
A little fun is needed to relieve some of the pressure that comes with making arrangements for the holidays.
It's been stressful, but we all have like lots of fun just getting to like be together.
Reporting in Carthage, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Arrangement for Valentine's Day has been sold out, but if you're seeking an arrangement for a special occasion, you can email the Carthage Floriculture Program a week in advance. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. An elderly man is given honor from a place he loves. We'll be right back.
This is Scott with Windows. Outside glass, easy breezy. Give us a call today to schedule your free at-home estimate. If you want the best for less, call Windows for less.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission down with us from Topeka. Welcome back to the show. Great to have you. And you've got a wonderful recipe for some red and white cookies just in time for Valentine's Day.
Perfect, right?
Absolutely.
So this is a soft sugar cookie. So if you like a sugar cookie that's kind of soft, this will be perfect. It uses soy sour cream in it, and so it makes it really nice and light. It's going to make about 2.5 dozen cookies. And after you mix it together, put it in the refrigerator so that it sets up a little bit. Then roll them into balls about the size of walnuts. And then I like to flatten the cookie slightly. And when you bake it, then you have this nice cookie. They bake at 350 for about 12 to 15 minutes. Let them cool really well. And then I made this icing that we're going to decorate them with, Chris. I made the white, and this has powdered sugar in it, some white syrup, corn syrup. It's going to give it that glossiness that we see there. And then a little bit of hot water that will kind of thin it out a little bit. I like to not get it too thin because then it'll be on your cookie a little bit more. Do one side first and do half of it because we're doing a red and white cookie. So I've done the white here and you've already got the red. And then let that set up good before you do the next one. Now, another tip that I would give is that if you want to have a really nice edge there, take a piece of wax paper and put over the section that you've already done, and then that will keep that nice and clean while you do the next color. So you've got white, and I'm going to do the red, and just take a little bit of that glaze, put it on your spatula there, and then just put it across that cookie there that you have there. And you can do the red food coloring here to make it, gosh, this is perfect for our chiefs too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
How are you doing? Great. Now spread it on across. You did very good. Spread it on across there, and a little bit on the sides. And then you have a little bit of our sprinkles here, the sugar. And while it's moist still, it hasn't set up, you want to put a little bit of your sugar on there, then just drop it off a little bit there. I've done my red one. Let's see you do yours. Yeah, perfect.
A few extra sprinkles there, but that's all right.
And a fun activity for the kids too, if they want to do this, and a nice little touch, because it's this is also Bake for Family Fun Month, and so it's a great time to get kids in the kitchen and do little projects.
And what kids don't like making cookies, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
So, of course, if they want this recipe or any of the others, where do they need to go?
Go to kansassoybeans.org, and also you could call our 800 number, 877-KS-SOYBEAN, and we will send them all the recipes for February.
All right. Charlene, thanks so much again for coming down. And of course, if you missed any of that, on our website as well, KOAMnewsnow.com. We will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Real crime, real lives.
Shelter Agent Spencer Lane or Joy Long in Joplin and ask about Shelter's competitive rates.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:42 now on this Tuesday morning. Taking a live look. Our camera, we've got a bird and otherwise clear skies out there. There's another bird. Beautiful start to the day, albeit a bit of a cold start to the day. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking back to the north. Plentiful sunshine as we get this day underway, and that sunshine combined with some gusty winds is going to increase our temperatures today. So let's talk about those winds real quick. Today, not that bad. It's going to be breezy. We're talking occasional gusts out of the southwest, upwards of about 20 to 25 miles an hour. And as we head through today, tonight, and into the first half of our Wednesday, we'll hold on to those gusts out of the southwest at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. But as we go later in the day on Wednesday, we start to see those winds picking up out of the south, upwards of 30 miles an hour in parts of southeast Kansas. And then overnight and into early Thursday, we're talking wind gusts pushing 40, potentially as high as 45 miles an hour, almost right out of the south. So if you're traveling overnight for any reason, Wednesday into Thursday, do keep that in mind that it is going to be quite breezy out there. However, as we head later into the day on Thursday, as you can see, we do eventually get a pause in those gusty winds. Our camera 7th and range line, still some snow out there, but that snow will all be gone. Not all gone, at least 90% of it gone by this afternoon. 31 in Joplin, 25 is what it feels like with that south breeze at about 6 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region, they are colder this morning as we get the day underway, but we're also about average out there as we're in the mid-upper 20s for most locations, so we're starting to see a few more lower 30s, and temperatures were going to climb pretty quickly as we head through the morning into the upper 40s by 11 o'clock with those sunny skies and, of course, some occasional wind gusts out there, and that is ahead of highs today, well above average by about, say, 10 degrees or so. But as we go into the mid-upper 50s heading into this afternoon, still breezy through the evening and overnight. We'll see a few clouds here and there, otherwise not bad, and we'll fall back into the upper 30s, so that's another 10, 12 degrees above where we should be for this time of year, and we're not done with it yet. Valentine's Day, 62 out there, mostly clear skies, still breezy as we mentioned, and then mostly cloudy Thursday, Friday, a little cooler, low to mid 50s. There's some isolated showers. Now, right now, it looks as though most of us are going to remain dry Thursday and Friday, but a few isolated to widely scattered showers will be possible. Much cooler Saturday, in fact, below normal, and cool on Sunday, low 50s. And as we head into next week, the winds pick up again. They get quite breezy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but take a look at those temperatures. Low 70s by next Wednesday, ahead of some additional rain chances by next Thursday. And that is a check of your forecast. Now we're send it over to Caitlin with Consumer Watch.
Well, some subscribers are taking legal action against Amazon's changes to Prime Video. The company is facing a proposed class action lawsuit for charging customers an extra fee for Prime Video without ads. The lawsuit, which was filed in California, claims that the change is a breach of contract and a violation of state consumer protection laws. Amazon launched its ad-supported tier last month and now requires users to spend an extra $2.99 a month to remove ads. The lawsuit is seeking at least $5 million. And businesses are cutting down on products, giving consumers fewer choices. Companies are limiting the number of brands they sell in order to focus on their most popular products. Some store chains expect cutting down on the number of options on the shelf will make it easier to shop for most consumers. Market research firm Circana reports that new items only accounted for 2% of products in stores last year across several categories, including footwear, beauty, and toys. This is a 5% drop from 2019. Shoppers may also see fewer color options at clothing stores and less customization at auto dealerships as well. Consumer experts say companies also believe they are being respectful of their customers' time by providing fewer options. And that's a wrap for our Consumer Watch for this morning. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
From playing this role of a lifetime. It's our Week of Love on Tamron Hall.
Tamron Hall, this morning at 10, right here on Fox 14.
A California man who spent much of his life visiting Yosemite National Park had the honor of being named a junior ranger just before his death.
As Tiffany Olin reports, his family says it was a bright moment in his final days.
Are you happy we're here, Frank?
Oh yeah. A lot of memories. A lot of memories.
85-year-old Frank Houle loved Yosemite National Park, going regularly since he was 6 years old, and even spending his honeymoon there with his wife, Leanne.
He loved everything about Yosemite. He felt like it was home. He loved being there. In his 79 years that he went there, they went there many times. He just felt like it was home.
After multiple strokes and advancing dementia, some of Frank's memories were getting blurry. But when he and his family visited the park again in August of last year, his condition seemed to improve.
We were there for 3 nights and 4 days. It was like he came back alive. It was wild.
He even began to tell stories of his previous Yosemite trips.
We talked about when he climbed Half Dome, and we were talking about that, and he did it twice, and we were like, what? You did it twice?
With all his experience, his family convinced him and Leanne that they just had to become junior rangers.
As many years as you've been going here, you could probably tell some of the rangers about some of the areas that you've been in that maybe they even haven't seen yet.
Although Frank couldn't ride anymore, he still enjoyed the activities and exploration. Soon after, Ranger Brendan swore in the couple as two proud and excited junior rangers.
You're never too old to be a junior ranger.
He loved it. It was really cute because he was trying to follow along. He started tearing up and he's like, I've been coming here. He's like, I'm 86. I've been coming here 80 years. And Leanne goes, you're 85, Frank. And he goes, I'm 86. He wasn't quite. He would have been 86.
Unfortunately, Frank's health took a turn for the worse on the way home from the trip, and he passed a short time later surrounded by family. Becoming a junior ranger was one of the last things Frank ever did. Now, his family cherishing their memories with him and the park.
He loved Yosemite, but Yosemite loved him back.
Certainly an incredible story.
Absolutely, Chris.
And be able to go there nearly every day for 80 years is just incredible.
Quite a sight to see.
Absolutely. We've got our own sight to see. It is the sun as it rises today and begins to melt off all the snow. And we can show you that with our camera on the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. There it is. We still have some snow around parts of the area, but most of that will be gone as we go into the afternoon today. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, another check there. Obviously, plentiful sunshine. Folks getting their day underway on what is going to be a warm but breezy Tuesday across the area. We're talking about winds gusting today upwards of about 20-25 miles an hour out of the southwest, and that'll continue as we head into the evening and overnight and into the first half of our Wednesday. But as we go later into the evening, we start to see those gusts pick up a bit, and overnight Wednesday into early Thursday morning, we could see some winds out of the south gusting upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour before it eventually releases its hold on the area by Thursday afternoon. In Joplin right now, clear skies, again some snow, but it'll be gone later. 31, feels like 25 with that south breeze at 6. Temperatures at or just a pinch above average, mid-upper 20s and some low 30s out there. We get our day started. We have the sunny skies, temperatures warming nicely into the upper 40s by 11 a.m. We're going to have one more check of your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
We are proud to salute Michael Williamson, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Parsons, Kansas police arrest a suspected car thief. Police got a call on February 10th about a possible stolen vehicle. Authorities say 26-year-old Peter Olson Jr. of Coffeyville stole a vehicle from his ex-girlfriend after a domestic situation. Officers quickly found the vehicle at a home, which they were told had 2 firearms inside. They set up a perimeter before entering the home, finding Olson and arresting him without incident. The Pittsburgh Community School District last night announced its newest superintendent. J.B. Elliott will take over the position on July 1st. Elliott has been the superintendent of the Perry-Lecompton School District in Perry, Kansas for the past 7 years. He has a total of 29 years in education, 21 of which was in administrative roles. And Carthage agriculture students have been busy for the past week creating those perfect Valentine's Day arrangements. The floral design portion of the class has been available only the past 2 years. In that time, students take 1 week out of every month to create arrangements. With holidays like Valentine's Day, Easter, and Mother's Day all around the corner, students have been hard at work to make each arrangement special. Students will be delivering arrangements within the school later today and will then look forward to taking new arrangements for Mother's Day.
And we've got a very nice day out there. Again, gusty winds up to 25 out of the southwest. Highs today, mid-upper 50s, so most of the remaining snow should be gone by this afternoon under those sunny skies. Mostly clear this evening, still a bit breezy through the evening and overnight, and warmer than where we should be as we go into the mid to upper 30s. And tomorrow, low 60s for our Valentine's Day. As we mentioned earlier, it'll be quite windy, especially overnight tomorrow. Some isolated showers Thursday, Friday. I think most of us stay dry. We're into the low 50s. Cooler Saturday and Sunday, and then back to the 60s Monday with the wind making a return.
All right, well, in case you've been living under a rock, the Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions once again, and Kansas City residents could not contain their excitement.
The sounds of fireworks and car horns filled the air in Kansas City following the Chiefs' victory in the Super Bowl on Sunday night. This footage here, captured by local Madison Cleveland, shows the fireworks illuminating the Kansas City skyline, accompanied by the sound of celebratory honks. And as we mentioned yesterday, the National Weather Service up there showing that all the fireworks going off actually showed up on radar up there.
That's incredible. Hey, we had our own fireworks show down here.
We did.
The whole state was lit up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning.
We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.